Today I've got my ranking of all 9 of the What's New Scooby Doo movies, which I've seen all 9 of them. Now, from my latest movie haul, which you guys can very much check that out on my channel. We'll get right into the ranking, which at number 9 we have Chill Out Scooby Doo from 2007, which I just overall am not a big fan of this movie. It feels that it's more back to the 80s where it's just Scooby and Shaggy in the movie because they're split from the gang for like 3/4 of the movie. And that's the big thing that I really don't like about that movie. And then next at number 8 we have Scooby Doo and the Samurai Sword from 2009, which was the last movie where Casey Kasem voiced Shaggy, as well as the last movie done under the What's New Scooby Doo character design. And I really don't care for this movie. It's basically a full-blown hour-long episode of either What's New Scooby Doo or Scooby Doo Where Are You? Which I see the meaning for that because at the time Scooby Doo had turned 40 years old. So I see the reasoning for that, but that movie just isn't not my favorite by any means. And then at number 7 we have Scooby Doo and the Monster in Mexico, with the only real thing that I like about this movie is you've got the original cast back for their voicing, other than Don Messick, who had passed away in 97. And then you also had Candy Milo back for a role in the Scooby Doo movie, which was fun to see. And then we have Aloha Scooby Doo from 2005 at number 6 on my list. And the one thing that I dislike on this movie is probably the fact that there was very little music to the movie that actually pertained to it. It was all just side music, basically, if there was any. And that's what I really disliked about that movie. And now this is where it gets complicated. But we've got at number 5, fittingly, we've got the other 2005 release, which is Scooby Doo Where's My Mummy? The thing that I really loved about this movie, I know I've been criticizing all the bad things on the movies, but this one, there was one thing that I really loved about this movie, and that Velma was like the god or whatever, and so they unmasked Velma, which was kind of funny to see. And they still caught someone in a trap, so that was really nice. And then we have probably my favorite Halloween-based What's New Scooby Doo movie, which was Scooby Doo and the Goblin King, released in 2008. Really, really love this movie because it goes back to one of my other favorites, Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost. And it has Tim Curry as the Goblin King, which adds a lot of life to this movie. And so I really like this movie for Halloween time. Seems like that's like the only good time to watch 3 of the 4 movies on this monster set. And then at number 3, we've got Scooby Doo Legend of the Vampire from 2003, which is the first What's New Scooby Doo based movie with the original cast back. And you get some guest stars in this movie as well, in the form of the Hex Girls, with some awesome music, which was really, really nice to see. And it's probably my favorite part about that movie. One of the disappointing things is it takes them 48 minutes out of a 72-minute long movie to start investigating the spot where they think the vampires are coming. That is the biggest letdown to that movie by far, in my opinion. And now we will move on to the last 2 with number 2 being Scooby Doo and the Loch Ness Monster from 2004. I've read the book version for this movie and was very much interested in wanting to check out the movie and finally have it for my collection, and so I'm really happy with that. And there's really nothing special about this movie. I just love that it's something different. And you guys might be thinking that it's not really any different from any of the previous movies that I've mentioned on this list, but I just feel that there's something different about this movie compared to any of the previous ones that I've mentioned. I'm sure they're all different in their own way, but there's something special, but I just don't know what it is about this movie that makes me love it so much. But I do know the reason that I put Scooby Doo Pirates Ahoy from 2006 as my number 1 favorite, and there's really 2 reasons. The music is awesome, and pirates. I've been on a pirate kick for a while now, not too long, and I've been wanting to see this movie for a very long time. I do really wish that they would have given Fred's parents better names, and it would have kind of connected with Scooby Doo Mystery Incorporated, which is also one of my favorite Scooby Doo TV shows. One that I don't plan to pick up to add to my collection, but it's still one that I really enjoy. And that's probably the big reasons that I love this movie. And there is also, at the end, they mention the Himalayas, which is actually the spot where Chill Out Scooby Doo takes place. So that is kind of weird, considering that this was a 2006 release, with the other one, Chill Out, being a 2007 release. But I think that's kind of interesting, and you guys can tell me your thoughts on my What's New Scooby Doo ranking in the comments section below, and just like and subscribe for more, because I will do more in the future.